electrochem, but by other large-scale salt producers, side by side with the local people. Because that lagoon is big enough for the local communities to be producing their ASM salt, and for several large-scale producers to... Have you seen the master plan?
Yeah, I have the master plan.
Yes. And is what electrochem doing superior to the master plan? But let me finish my point. The difference between the master plan and the charity of electrochem that we are praising is that under the master plan, people's right, and I use the word right, the right to produce salt is guaranteed and protected by the state. It is not an act of charity within the corporate social responsibility plan of electrochem. It's a right that the state grants and protects. And in doing, and also implementing the master plan, the government would help the small scale people also to increase their productivity. So the problems about quality and so on that you're talking about would also have been dealt with as part of a comprehensive plan. And critically, that all-inclusive plan would not have needed 24-hour presence of state security to allow the company to operate. Because the coexistence of large scale and small scale within the master plan would have been harmonious, and all of them would have benefited also from the presence of a processor or a refiner as a hub within which they are all operating. So when the government fails to implement an all-inclusive plan and hands over the lagoon to a company whose original business plan was explicit in saying that down people will be taught to do something else rather than produce salt. Actually, what appears to be an act of charity is electrochem making concessions in the face of the resistance of our down people. Let's be clear about this. The plan that was submitted and callously approved by the Minerals Commission was for the expulsion of our down people. And this goes to my point also about the seeming belief in large scale. All over the gold producing areas, schemes that could have included people were not developed. People were expelled. To the extent that in the Newmont thing, even when people resisted, the government nationalized the land and handed it over to Newmont. So what you are describing as the great sympathetic act of inclusion by electrochem, which side by side is coexisting with the brutalization of people. It's a travesty, because it's the resistance which has forced electrochem to at least modify the original plan to expel everybody from the lagoon. Have you read the business plan?
Yeah, I read it.
Did he say it will expel the people?
He doesn't say that.
You haven't read it. I'll send you a copy to read. I'll give you, the copy which we bought from the Minerals Commission. So electrochem has given ground to the people. It's given ground because people have resisted. The deaths that have occurred, the alienation, the delegitimation, the divisions in Adan, which have been triggered by this electrochem project, will not have occurred if the Akufo-Addo government was not engaged in an illegal act of cronyism, but had implemented a vision of development as embodied in the master plan. And actually, the master plan could become a template for how we see mineral development in this country. So rather than defend the logic of illegality and cronyism, which is giving crumbs to our down people, we should be demanding that the all-inclusive model, which does not require a lord to throw crumbs to people like chicken eating corn. That's what we need in Adan, and that's what we need in mineral development in this country.
You want to add, Charles and okay. Okay, so
do it better.
Hold on. There are others who want to. You can pick up your issues after, but there are others who haven't taken the floor. We'll do a last round. So one, yeah. Stand now.
A very good morning to all of us. It's afternoon. Thank you so very much. My name is Bernard Colley, and I speak for Electric and Ghana Limited. Let me use this wonderful opportunity to say thank you to Dr. Graham and the Third World Network for giving us this wonderful platform. Before I advance, I would also like to say that one of our own, who happens to be Dr. Graham, and the Third World Network for giving us this wonderful platform. Before I advance, I would also like to say that one of our own, who happens to be a chief at Tufluk, who made a statement which I think he needs to, as it is, withdraw and apologize, if not on this platform. As a chief, I think to say that the investor is killing people in Ada, I don't think this is a statement that we need to encourage, more particularly having the opportunity to be on this wonderful platform. Maybe there should be a better way, but to say the investor is killing people in Ada, I think is not something advised. It's not true, let me put it that way. Fast forwarding. Our brother made some wonderful submission with regards to what Electric and Ghana Limited is currently doing in Ada ever since we took over legitimately according to the laws of the Republic of Ghana. And I wouldn't like to say much because we don't have enough time, else I'll delve deep into it to let people know what we are doing currently and how other people are benefiting and what is done to benefit in the future. Let me read from there and then touch on what our able Dr. Graham said with regards to our initial business plan. It's a surprise for me, hearing for the first time that our policy includes the expulsion of other people from or within the concession. This is a story. This is a history for me. I've never heard this anywhere. I've never chanced on any document whatsoever that states that.
From the access to the lagoon.
Well, that is exactly what I'm saying, respectfully.
Okay,
Doc,
yes.
we have a state institution that regulates mining. The same state institution that gives right for companies to mine. These institutions have laws that governs operations of mining companies. And so if that is the case, it will be suicidal for the state to accept a company with such business plan, talk less of giving that state, that company, the right to operate. Fast forwarding, in your earlier statement, you made us understand that part of the reason of the work that TWN has been doing over the years now, that one major thing has to do with the protection of the communities against pollution, etc., etc. And it made us understand that they work in collaboration with other organizations. I have had the document, I've chanced on the document, and I've realized that over the years, they did a lot in terms of advocacy, making sure that artisanal miners will learn and know how to mine responsibly. And so their advocacy and efforts prior to Electrochem coming is open. It's there. It's a testimony. Everybody can attest to it. The issue is, prior to Electrochem coming, what was the state of the lagoon? It will interest most people here that the lagoon, the pride of Ada, was gone. And it's a fact. Something our able doctor and his team saw from morning and they fought against. There was a practice that was happening prior to Electrochem coming that rendered the God-given natural resource dead. And that act was the illegal mining on the face of the lagoon. which they locally term it Achiago. This was an act that rendered Adar Songo dead. When Electrochem took over, unfortunately, people were mining on the bed of the lagoon. And this is what they do. They trap rainwater and borehole to generate salt. Like our brother Riley said, they go further by applying this black rubber stuff, which makes it more even worse. Because at the end of the day, is it internationally accepted practice so far as salt production is concerned? The answer is no. So over the period, this is what has been happening at Ada. We all know we had a lagoon, but the lagoon was no more. Now, Electrochem coming, there was a serious, a very well-calculated attempt by the company to restore back Ada Songo Lagoon to its normalcy. The company spent millions of dollars to desilt the then deserted Ada Songo Lagoon. A lagoon that is filled with silt. There are pictorial evidence to that effect. If we get opportunity from TWN Network, we will invite stakeholders for a forum like this for us to do presentation, for people to see it and attest to the fact. Millions of dollars were used to revamp or to restore the lagoon. Again, the company purchased jumbo pump machine worth $70 million to pump seawater into the Songo. Because before, sea water flows by gravity into the Songo. And by our actions, the silt has risen to a level that the seawater cannot pass through the Lolo into the Songo again by gravity. So you need a mechanical form of, to power the salt water, the brine, to come into the Ada Songo, for it to become Songo. Today, as we speak respectfully, what Dr. Graham and co. fought for, what they were advocating with the Hikachem and the Women of Valor, what they were advocating with the help of the community radio, Ada Radio and co. Today, at least for anything at all, by coming of Electrochem Limited, the Ada Songo has been restored. This is priceless. To me, we can boast, at least for anything at all, by the coming of Electrochem Limited, the pride of the Ada people has been restored. Hitherto, and Ada is not all of us that do mining. People, thank you very much. People also, there are other people who engage in other activities like fishing and the rest. Today, as we speak, there's life for fisher folks. People now employ their trade because the lagoon is back to normalcy. It has given opportunity for other people to also work, apart from salt mining. That is what it is at the moment. Respectfully, has there been any place in Ghana, so far as mining is concerned, that we don't have pockets of issues?
Please wind up.
There has been several issues relating to disagreement in left, right, center. So the situation in Ada is not different from other places. But the difference is probably the dynamics and how we handle the situation. Yes, like you rightly said, there has been a series of approach by companies before Electrochem. They never succeeded because that dynamic doesn't pave way or doesn't agree. But the issues, Prof. Doc and our able speaker mentioned, or they said earlier on, the forex factor is the reason why all our natural resources are under pressure. Okay, what are we doing to support local champions to ensure that we, those who are mining, indigenous miners, can be given that cushioning, that support assistance? Because at the end of the day, these are our own. In this case, Electrochem Ghana Limited is 100% owned by one of our own. And so, what can we do in the face of this situation to better and make sure that the relationship between Adan, Adana miners, the people of Adan and Electrochem can be harmonized in such a way that everybody will understand that Electrochem coming to Adan is rather a blessing, but not a curse. Finally, before I go respectfully, with all the due respect, I wish to also state, as Doc Riley said, our focus, Electrochem is not in Adan throwing freebies. It's understatement. Respectfully. As we speak currently, we have not extended our commercial operations outside the old Songo Sort area, which is vacuum. We have not done that. Anytime you hear of Electrochem having issues in the community, what have you, it has to do with creation of evaporators. It has to do with construction of community plants for the communities. It has to do with taking of topographical works
very generous.
to see where and how.
Please, I think you've
But
taken...
it is not about... Very well.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much once
thank
again
you.
for giving us this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you.
I believe we'll have the time for us to delve further into the issue. Thank you.
All right, you've been watching a live telecast of the 30th anniversary of Third World Network on the theme Organizing for Equitable and Transformative Policies. My name is David Kwekusechi. Keep watching Channel One TV.